Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is the Weekly Pint. It's a show where we hang out and we talk about all things, really. It is that simple. All things. We talk about beer. We talk about cocktails. We talk about spirits. We talk about wine. Maybe wine. I don't know. News, reviews, opinions, all of that stuff. This is a place where we just gather and hang out and talk about whatever we want to talk about. Maybe we even drink about Turtles Brew. Maybe we drink about seltzer. It doesn't matter. Whatever you are drinking is fair game here because it's a happy hour. It's a happy hour. It's an excuse for us all to hang out and have a drink together and talk about whatever we do want to talk about. So, with that in mind, as you jump on the stream, the live chat, feel free to chime in with what you're drinking. If you are listening to this afterwards via some kind of podcast feed, or you're watching the video somewhere else afterwards, if there's some place where you can leave comments, comment with what you're drinking while you're listening to the show, because we want you to have fun too. Although it is more fun to do this live during the show. So with that in mind, whenever you are free on a Monday evening, usually around 9:30, feel free to jump on the live stream and come hang out with us because we do this every week. And one of these weeks, I will figure out how to actually put together a live stream and do it without having to change things halfway through. It's magnetic. All right, so with all of that, Marco says hi. He is having an Imperial Headhunter, a great beer. And Julia is having a black seltzer from Untitled Art. I still have not tried that one. However, I'm very curious to try it. Josh is drinking an orange vanilla Turtles Brew. Turtles Brew, for anybody who is not aware, is a locally produced bourbon tea. It's they come in these it used to be jugs. It's big bottles now, and it's a blend of bourbon and tea, usually cocktail inspired somehow. And they're super drinkable and crushable, even if you want to say that. And just like you can add bourbon to it if you really want a little more kick, but you don't have to. They're super drinkable the way they are. Julia says, I have one can left. It's yours if you want it. I would love to try it. Marco says, I love jugs. Who doesn't? My favorite jugs, if this counts. Jugs of Utopias. It's not really a bottle. It's a decanter. It is very jug-like. I was debating if I was going to dive into this on tonight's episode. And I don't think I'm going to. I mean, maybe as we go on, maybe I'll dive into it a little bit. I have tried it already. It's great. But kind of going with some of the things that I want to talk about on tonight's episode, I figured I would dive into something else. I'm trying to be better about drinking into the cellar, and that's where this one comes from. We got some Dark Charge. This is from, I believe, last year. Yep, 2022. If you can see that, 2022. This is Triple Vanilla. Make sure that's the one I got out. Triple Vanilla from last year's Dark Charge release. So that's what I'm going to drink because it's a stout season here in Cincinnati, which we will definitely talk about. Marco says, chug it. That is not going to happen. However, in honor of another local stout release that we are quickly approaching, again, that we'll talk about, we're going to drink it out of a Sonder family tradition glass and let the whole world just kind of collapse upon itself when we mix Dark Charge and family tradition together. It's as a beer drinker, I'm sure we've talked about this plenty of times, but it gets really tough sometimes to divide your attention and your money to different releases this time of year because there are so many good ones. All right. I don't want to dive too much into this year's releases because, like I said, we will talk about them. Oh, yeah. Some of these adjuncted flavored stouts last better than others in the cellar. I'm hoping this one is good. All right. So I should probably drink it before we dive too in depth here. It's a big dark stout. Surprise, surprise. It is definitely there's definitely vanilla in the aroma, but not over the top. It's not as crazy as even I remember it being when I had it last year, which I'm getting so far ahead of myself already. The drunk line is not active tonight. We're still kind of reworking some things. However, I have a couple new things that I finally got kind of figured out here, which I'm very happy about. I don't know if we'll talk about that this week or not, but there's no drunk line. However, the chat is active. There it is. So feel free to talk as we go, which you guys seem to have already figured out, especially for all of you who are on Facebook together. That makes it a little easier to just talk together. You don't actually need the chat on the screen. But this way, if somebody jumps on YouTube, they can also talk to you, and you guys can talk to them. It crossing streams again. All right, let me dive into this here. Triple vanilla. Dark Charge is it is such a distinctive imperial stout to me. And maybe it's because we've been drinking it at this point for, this will be 9 years, the 9th release, I believe. And maybe it's because it's been around that long, but maybe just because I've drank so much of it over the years. But the character of the base beer is so distinctive to me at this time. All right, let me dive in. That's the perfect temperature too. I pulled it right out of the beer cellar and threw it in the fridge like, I don't know, maybe a half hour ago, just to get it down just a little bit. Oh man, that's drinking really good. Definitely vanilla heavy, but it kind of just makes it just adds some sweetness to it. It's not like that real like thick kind of pastry stout kind of over the top vanilla. Man, ooh, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. I really like that. I don't want to dive in too deep because I don't want to get past the first news story that I do want to talk about, which is a very big one that I'm sure everybody has heard of at this point. This was I missed the show last week because I had a lot of stuff going on, but this was the news story that I should have talked about last week, and so much so that I was going to try to do the show on another night last week, and just got so busy every single night that I couldn't find a day that I could do the show. If I'd been able to, it would have been number one news story. Also, and that is Taft's Ale House is closing, which I'm sure, like I said, everybody's read about at this point. Hopefully, everybody's had some time to kind of process their thoughts on it, because I do want to talk about how everybody feels about it. Before we go into how we all feel, though, so start thinking about how you feel. But I do want to kind of talk about their statement with it. They released this statement on their social media, and I put it on here so I could read it word for word, so I didn't get anything wrong. And it says, we are very deeply saddened to announce the upcoming closure of Taft's Ale House. We've made the painfully difficult decision to close our beautiful flagship location after 8 years of serving the OTR community. Our final day of operation will be Saturday, November 25th, 2023. That is this coming Saturday. I believe, yes, this coming Saturday. The pandemic, a significant decline in tourism, and large increases in material goods costs have contributed greatly, but ultimately we could not indemnify for the significant loss in sales since COVID began. We have self-sustained daily operations for the past couple of years, and it's clear our business model is unable to financially support the location in this new landscape. Our main concern right now is our alehouse team's future. At the core of Taft's Alehouse has always been our incredible staff. Their hard work, commitment, and cheer brought to the alehouse and OTR will be greatly missed. We've given everyone notice of the closure and will pay severance to each individual employee. We're offering employment opportunities wherever we have them at our Brewporium locations and contract beverage business. Additionally, we've compiled local hospitality job openings that have been shared. If you know of a favorite local bar or restaurant that is hiring, please share with us. We'd love to refer our talented team members who, in our opinion, really are the best in the city. Taft's Brewporium, Cincinnati, and Columbus will continue to operate as normal. We want to wholeheartedly thank our loyal patrons, friends, OTR, and the city of Cincinnati for all the love and support over the years. Prior to our closing, please stop in and enjoy a pint with us at Taft's Alehouse. So we give a final, sorrowful, heartfelt goodbye. All right, I want to talk about it. Number one, sometimes it's sad anytime a location closes, anytime a brewery closes. This is a strange one for a lot of people because of some of the issues they had during COVID. They made that beer that was supposed to support employees and then didn't use the money from it towards the employees. They pocketed it, or there was a GoFundMe that they had going. There's a lot of things that have people kind of pissed off at Taft's over the last few years. I find it a little more interesting that they're not blaming staffing issues. They're not blaming the increase in material goods, like they did mention briefly in there, but they're not blaming that. They're not blaming any of that stuff. They're not blaming some kind of downturn of downtown itself. They're just saying COVID. This is COVID's fault. COVID is forcing us to shut down. At the same time, they are keeping the Brewporium open. They're keeping the contract business going. Taft's itself isn't going anywhere. You'll still see it on in bars around town and on shelves around town. It's just the actual alehouse location, which is I don't know what it costs to run that spot, but it has to be very expensive. So I'm not. Number one, I'm not shocked by this. We've been expecting breweries to close ever since 2020, and ever since all of that happened, we've just been kind of waiting for certain places. Not certain places doesn't sound right, but waiting for places to announce that they are struggling and that they have to close. Especially in the last couple of years, as we've seen a lot of the staffing issues and costs of goods go up, and inflation and all of that stuff. We've seen that, so it shouldn't be shocking that a brewery is closing. And there will be more breweries that will close for various reasons. However, to me, it is a little more shocking that it's Taft's and that it's the alehouse. I'm curious. Well, again, it costs a lot of money to run the alehouse. It shouldn't be shocking. I think the thing that I walk away with all of this is this very distinct line in the sand of. Look, we love this space. This space is the space that kind of created who we are, and we're not going to beat ourselves up trying to keep it open. It doesn't work, so we're gonna cut it loose. And I think that is, I don't know if scarier is the right word, but that's the more shocking part of all of this. That Columbus is staying open, and I don't know again how much business they do versus Cincinnati or OTR or whatever, but it's still ticking. And that's what Julia just brought. She said, "I'm sure OTR is not a cheap place to do anything, but I didn't realize that the Columbus site did enough business that it made sense to keep that and not the alehouse." Yeah. The alehouse just must be bleeding money out of the business, which when you again, not shouldn't be shocking, but this is again like you're seeing a business that is looking at a spreadsheet and looking at all of these locations and all of these pieces of that business and looking at one and be like, there it is. This is a piece of the business that isn't helping us. So we're just going to take it off of the spreadsheet. Aaron says that the Columbus location has always been rather crowded when I was there. Yeah, like the one time that I was at the Columbus location, it was fairly crowded. It was post-COVID, so I mean, it's into the modern world of what we expect from craft beer, and yeah, it was pretty crowded. So yeah, maybe they do more business than we're giving them credit for. Maybe we have a jaded kind of opinion of it here in Cincinnati because we are kind of so territorial about our breweries. But at the same time, like there are invasive species here in Cincinnati that are doing just fine, that are crowded, and so I don't know. I was talking to somebody last week, kind of about this closure, and kind of just comparing our thoughts and opinions about it, and he mentioned that it was a very distinct moment in time where you can actually see that it's not beer people that are running a business. It's not brewers or somebody that used to homebrew that comes in and starts up this brewery, or things like that a lot of places have always been. This is very much a business now or always that is being run by bankers and investors and money. It's run in a very different way than I think a lot of us craft beer fans think our breweries are being run. And it's being run by people that are very different people than we as craft beer drinkers think our breweries are being run by. Not that it's bad, and not that they're the only ones that are. There are plenty of places around town that are run in that way. But it seems strange, feels strange. Marco says, I could appreciate not throwing good money after bad. I also appreciate that they didn't ask the community to buy gift cards or do some social media stunt to try to temporarily keep it open until inevitably closes. More businesses should be honest and cut if needed. They're not gone, just home base has changed. And that's what's so crazy too, is that when you look at what the Brewporium here in Cincinnati is, that's home base. That is home base. It's been home base since it opened. Their offices are all there. The big brew house is there. The stuff that was coming out of the Taft's Ale House location was all just kind of smaller batch test stuff. It was a 10-barrel brew house. It's not big enough to do anything except serve the brew pub. It's upsetting, and there are probably people that would argue that it's already gone this way. But it's upsetting that the food is leaving. That whole tri-tip steak idea was great. The food, every time I've eaten there, has been fantastic. Admittedly, I don't eat there as much as I'm sure other people do, and I've heard that people say the food has gone downhill. I've not had that experience. I was in there just a couple weeks ago and had a tri-tip steak salad that was just phenomenal. It was delicious, and the beer was all great. I don't know. Over the last couple years, it has been strange kind of watching what the ale house is and how they fit it into the Taft's family, I guess. Putting the sports book in the basement in Nellie's tap room felt weird. Definitely changed the vibe of that. So I don't know. Again, it shouldn't probably be a shock, but it is. It shouldn't hurt as much as maybe it does a little. It shouldn't hurt my feelings to see them go as much as I have. They've the ale house has not been a major player in the craft beer world other than the fact that it's just beautiful. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I just don't know how I feel. Even a couple weeks after they announce it, I don't know how they feel. But this weekend is their last day. So if you haven't been for a while or haven't been, swing by so you can see what that place is, because it really it marked a distinct new era in Cincinnati craft beer. I can, like, if I laid out like a timeline of how Cincinnati craft beer has changed and evolved and grown, like, you can see this moment when Taft's Ale House opened up, and people realized that there was big money coming into this new idea of craft breweries. Everything up until that point felt like, even if it got big, it felt like it was kind of some kind of scrappy craft brewery. It felt like a home brewer starting a thing. Maybe Moorline Lager House kind of fits into that too, of a big kind of in your face, hey, yes, we're making craft beer, but we're doing it in a big kind of more shiny way. I, I don't know. It's, again, with that thought in mind, it is very strange to see that go, and kind of makes you start to think, well, not that we weren't already thinking it. Again, this idea of small neighborhood tap rooms versus these big city driving forces, how much that's going to keep shaking out. I don't think we're done seeing things like this. That's for sure. Elijah says, hi Elijah. Marco says hello to the best trivia host in Trivlandia. Trivialandia? Trivlandia? I don't think either one of those are actual words. So that's Taft's. Obviously, we could sit there and kind of try to wrap our minds around that, but we're 23 minutes in and we haven't talked about stouts, and that's definitely probably a little more fun to talk about than a brewery closing. We should probably talk about breweries that opened, but I didn't plan for that, but we probably should. I guess in the next couple weeks we need to sit and kind of go through some of these new places that have opened up or are opening up. Stouts. Let's start with Family Tradition, because they go on sale tomorrow. As of this actual recording and this broadcast, if you're watching live, it is Monday. These go live on Tuesday, the Tuesday before Black Friday, the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Julia says, I had a nice big stout last night while watching the sports. A boy in a stout. Eric says, snappy shirt, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, Family Tradition. Let's talk about this year's release. I should probably try to, well, if I can read these off of the screen, that is really far away. This year's Family Tradition has 6 different beers. Makes it the biggest Family Tradition release that Sonder has done. Marco says the new Sonder location is opening, supposedly. I actually haven't looked at their social at all today to see if they made any other announcements, because to go behind the scenes before we jump into this, we were camping this weekend, sort of. We were supposed to be camping this weekend, and Julia says ish, and she says nope. We were supposed to go camping. We had this fall camp out planned. I like to do like one cold weather camp out a year, and I don't care if my family decides to camp also. And for anybody that doesn't know, most of the time when we camp, we go to my in-laws where they have some land, and we camp there. So you can hike back to the house, and it's not really that far. it's not a tough road. So if you decide that you want to partake in the camping festivities, but then you want to go and sleep in the house, that's very doable. And that's on weekends like this, that's exactly what I expect them to do. However, we also ran into a problem that there's a parade here in Fairfield that they use to, I live in Fairfield, and so they do this parade. And they, this is multi-leveled. I forgot about some of this. On Friday, we had a birthday party we had to go to. And this was for my sister-in-law, and we decided we were going to probably drink very heavily at the party, and neither one of us wanted to then figure out a way to drive home. So we decided we were just going to stay there. So we slept at their house Friday night. So then Saturday morning, we got up, and we were back and forth about how the timing was going to work on this, because Saturday evening, there's a parade here in Fairfield where they it's like the Christmas season kickoff, even though Christmas season doesn't start until Friday. They do this big parade, and my oldest kid was supposed to walk in the parade with her Girl Scout troop. Not that that's bad, but that means that in the evening, we have to be here in Fairfield for this parade. So we were going back and forth. Do we go up there on Saturday, set stuff up, then come back, do the parade, and then go back up? When push came to shove, we decided we were just going to go up after the parade, which meant we didn't get there until late, and I'm not about to set up camp that late at night. So decided we weren't going to sleep outside. We were just going to set up all of the festivities of camping without actually camping. So when I say we were camping this weekend, we really just sat outside, drank and smoked cigars around a fire all weekend, and then slept inside the house. That's basically how it was. Marco says, what time in the morning was the first cigar lit? Usually about 9 or so, I'd say, was when the first cigar gets lit and the first beer gets cracked open. Elijah says, banana barley wine is family tradition most excited about. Yeah, I got distracted. We started talking about family tradition. Let's get back to it. Family tradition this year. Let's roll through all of them. The first one is the base stout, which is typically my favorite one, but probably also not the one that I'm the most excited about, because it's a stout. This year they did, it was aged for 24 months in what they say is a plethora of different bourbon barrels, including W.L. Weller, Widow Jane, Wild Turkey Rye. It sat in the barrels for 2 years. It was then blended to perfection. Aromas of chocolate, bourbon, and coffee are all evident on the nose. Flavors of coffee, vanilla sweetness, rye spices, nuts, and toasted marshmallow. They mingle together uniquely with every sip. Finishing flavors of oak and bourbon round everything out. That sounds delicious. I don't usually say that things are my favorite, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm starting to think that the base family tradition is probably my favorite, just base stout. Probably, maybe. I don't know if I can actually accurately say that, but I'm starting to feel that way after I drank one of the 2020 base ones on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and it was phenomenal, like really, really good. Not that the other stouts around town aren't, but there are some, especially the adjuncted ones, that I think other people are doing just really, really well. Anyways, moving on. Number 2, the English barley wine. So barley wine's moving into these stout releases. I love it. This one, brewed with Maris Otter, layered with 3 different English caramel malts. The barley wine then received molasses and maple syrup in the bottle. Oh, in the kettle. Sorry, these words are really small all the way over there. In the kettle, it was boiled for over 5 hours. Good Lord. Fermented with an expressive English yeast strain, aged for 20 months in fresh, high-wheat Old Elk barrels. Aromas of maple syrup, oak, and raisin are followed by sweet, fruity esters of fig, jam, vanilla, cherry, and honey. This beer will age beautifully when cellared at 55 degrees. My cellar's not at 55 degrees. It's nice, but it's not that cold. Let's see. The Script Brazil Single Origin Coffee. This is batch 4, family tradition, aged for 24 months in a plethora of different bourbon barrels. Sitting in these barrels for 2 years, it was then blended to perfection and conditioned atop freshly, locally roasted Script Brazil. It's a single origin coffee. Aromas of cocoa, berry, bourbon, and coffee are evident on the nose. Coffee brings bright and berry flavors to mingle with the vanilla sweetness, rye spices, oak, bourbon, and nuttiness. that's probably going to be really good. I love coffee stouts, especially when you drink them fresh. I'm a firm believer that most of these adjuncted stouts, if not all of them, you should probably drink them fresh. Some of the base stouts, I think, do get better as they go a couple years, but most of them just drink them fresh. That's the way they're supposed to be, in my opinion. Moving on, Madagascar Vanilla, kind of a similar beer to what I'm drinking right now. Aged for 24 months in fresh bourbon barrels, including W.L. Weller, Widow Jane, Wild Turkey, yada, yada, yada. This iteration was then rested on pounds per barrel. Doesn't say how many pounds. On pounds per barrel of fresh Madagascar vanilla beans, resulting in a silky and luxurious sweetness with essences of chocolate and bourbon. Yeah, that sounds good too. Good Lord. The banana cacao English barley wine. This was brewed with maris otter, just like the other barley wine. It was then, conditioned atop wild Thai bananas and roasted cacao nibs for tangy and sweet banana, dried plum, chocolate, rich caramel, and honey flavors. Yep, I can get behind that one too. All of these sound good. Cacao, almond, and coconut. This is what the chat was referring to. Julia said, I'm interested in trying to snag a bottle of Sonder Joy. That's what this is. It's Sonder Joy. Marco says, try asking for a Sonder Joy and see what happens. I'll have a Sonder Joy and a Toby Chaser. We'll see. We'll see if anybody knows what you're talking about. This one is rested on toasted coconut, almonds, and expressively fudgy, freshly roasted cacao nibs. Yeah, man, all of this sounds so good. All of it. And I think I can get behind that Sonder Joy. In fact, I'd like to drink that right now. So bottles go on sale tomorrow online, and then you can pick them up anytime after starting Black Friday through like Wednesday or something next week. No, through Tuesday. I have it over here on this other screen. Ooh, I can show you this other thing. This is part of something else that I'm working on, but we can share my other screen so you guys can see what I'm doing over here while I'm supposed to be reading your notes. I can look at things over here. That's what I'm looking at. It's what I'm always looking at over here, and you guys can't see it, but now you can. It's the simple things in life that that bring me joy. But this is we can so the drunk line is offline right now. It's coming back, but with it is also the ability for me to more easily bring guests in on this show. You guys saw the chaos a couple weeks ago when I brought Kathy in and had some trouble. I guess you didn't see the trouble beforehand. There's a reason that she was just on via the phone instead of being video, because there was chaos. And hopefully going forward we'll have that fixed, and we'll pipe people on right there, and then they'll be up here. They'll actually be on your screen like this, and we'll have a guest and we'll have me, and that's something that I've been working on for way longer than I care to admit, and just haven't had the time to sit and get it all set up in all these places. Marco says, any bottles not picked up by then get reallocated to the J. Rose Foundation. Helps bring delicious beer to needy souls. I'm all about that. All right, so moving on with the stouts, kind of going to what I'm drinking right now, as hopefully everybody is aware of. Dark Charge Day is coming, and there's a lot to unpack with this one, because as you can see, it's not just bottles anymore. It's also cans of Dark Charge for the first time, which we'll talk about in a second. First, I want to roll through the beers that are being released this year. It starts, and you can see them all up here if you can read them. But Julia says, since I can't seem to get Utopias, I'll settle for family tradition. So it starts with the barrel-aged dark charge. That's the base beer. This year's base is a blend of 2019, 2020, and 2022 vintages. Deep aromas of stone fruits, such as plums, pair nicely with the notes of coffee and roast. Bourbon Barrel brings forward smooth notes of vanilla toffee and caramel. It's great beer. It's always a great beer. The base dark charge is usually one of my favorites. This year they brought in also peanut butter dark charge, which I have gotten to try this one, and it is absolutely delicious. The peanut butter is extremely well balanced, which is really, I think, a difficult flavor to balance properly. This is not it's definitely peanut butter forward, but it doesn't lose that stout barrel character that you love from a barrel-aged stout like this. Really well done. Really fun one. Let's see. My notes are terrible. I messed everything up. Okay. Mole. For anybody who doesn't remember Mole, it's almost always been a staple of Dark Charge. And over the I think just last year, they decided not to include it. It's back. And great beer. Kind of chocolate and peppers, and just really, really good. Looking forward to that one. And all of these so far have been in cans. Also in cans, Dark Charge Barley Wine. This is the first non-stout that they've done as a Dark Charge released. It embodies, this is their words, embodies the essence of time-honored craftsmanship, aged in freshly dumped New Riff bourbon barrels, which, trivia, most of what Dark Charge is aged in is New Riff bourbon barrels. This robust barley wine reveals a symphony of flavors, from toffee to toasted coconut, a testament to patience and passion. It's a masterpiece of complexity and depth. I've tried this one too, and it is 100% all of those things. It is good. It is a really, really good barley wine. I think will help kind of convince people that that barley wine is really freaking good. It's not necessarily what a lot of people kind of think in their head it is. Marco says it sounds like it was copied and pasted from Untappd. I mean, it'll probably be exactly what is written on Untappd on the beer description. The next cans, the three, which you see kind of over here. This is the donut box, raspberry jelly-filled donut, the Boston cream donut, and chocolate frosted donut. And they're all donut flavored stouts, which, okay, fine. I have not tried these, but I look forward to it. And then we have the only bottles this year, these two right here. The first one is the bourbon cream. This one is with the Beeline, a collaboration. You have to be at the event to get this bottle. This is not one that you can pre-order online. And then the other one here, this is the one that I'm probably most excited about. This is their Vino. This is what they're calling a groundbreaking beer-wine hybrid. It marries the richness of stout with California Cabernet Sauvignon, aged in bourbon barrels. It delivers a revelation of flavors. Malty sweetness meets fruity sophistication, harmonized by subtle bourbon undertones, an extraordinary blend for those seeking a unique drinking experience. I am pumped to try this one, and I will definitely tell you guys about it as soon as I do get to try it, because I think it's fun. I love this this kind of blending of different sides of the drinking experience. Braxton is definitely in this interesting stage in their life right now of trying to understand what the consumer wants and why they want it, and what people are excited to drink and what people are bored of drinking, and trying to keep kind of pushing things in the right direction. So this is a cool release, and I'm excited to drink it. That's That's how I feel about it. The cans. We have to talk about the cans. Julia says the bourbon cream sounds so good, but I don't think I'll be down there to snag one. I will be completely honest. So every single year of Dark Charge, I backed their Kickstarter when they were starting, so I'm one of the builders, which means we get to order our Dark Charge before everybody else. That includes the beers that you can only get there. So we were able to order the bourbon cream online. This is the first year I didn't order every bottle of Dark Charge. And there's lots of reasons for that. Obviously, there's more releases now than ever. When trying to divide where you're spending that money is very difficult. At the same time, I'm wondering if the cans somehow factor into that for me a little bit, that I'm just not as excited as I am sometimes. Julia says, did you order every can of Dark Charge? No, I did not. I don't know. I've been trying to wrap my head around kind of my thoughts on all of this for a while, and I want to be able to order more things like Family Tradition or other releases that are coming or have come. I want to be able to split that money up better, and if you order a full, if you order one bottle of every Dark Charge that's released, it's like $200. That's granted, it's a lot of beer, but that's money that you could kind of spend somewhere else. Aaron's definitely going to miss this place always. The beer is great, and I will definitely be at Dark Charge Day, and I will definitely try them while I'm down there. Aaron says too much beer, not enough time. That's true. Julia says, to me, part of what made Dark Charge cool was the bottles. Moving it to cans, while I know it's still a phenomenal product, just doesn't feel like the same experience. 100% for me, it feels like more of a commodity, which is on one hand great. It makes it, and I know that I'm kind of being hypocritical because I'm sitting here opening a bottle of Dark Charge by myself, but so often I find myself passing over opening a bottle of this to open something that is more normal, even if that is another Imperial Stout that's in a can that's just hanging out in the fridge. This does kind of push Dark Charge into that more normal category. I wonder if we will start at some point seeing Dark Charge hitting some form of distro where it never has. No, we'll see. Julia says, if you want to try to stag me a bottle of bourbon cream while you're down there, we'll see. I can tell you that at some point when we get a chance to hang out, we can sneak some sips of this to you. So even if I can't get you bourbon cream, I can get you a taste of some Utopias. So that's the Dark Charge release this year. Let me drink some more of this one. Oh, it's good. That's such a good beer. I have one more thing, but it's not really a long story. It's a new product that I saw pop up that I think is really exciting for people that kind of looking for new drinking options when they go out. We've talked a lot about non-alcoholic beer and things like that. 50 West is working to kind of keep innovating and keep creating new things along those same lines, and they are finally releasing their own hop water. This is non-alcoholic, gluten-free, no calories. It's fizzy water, pineapple flavored. Pineapple is not the flavor that I would have gone with, but I'm excited to try it and see how they did with our hop water. It's again just another way for people to keep drinking for longer, be out longer, and I'm all about it. So Josh says, I love hop tea, so I'd probably love this. I mean, we'll see. I don't know how how hoppy it is. I don't know. Again, I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really comment on what it tastes like. At some point, I'll get over there to try it. Julia says I'm excited to try it, especially if it's cheaper than the National Hop Water Hop Teas. Delicious, but I can't justify the price for those. That's pretty true for me for a lot of even non-alcoholic beer, but a lot of those kind of, even some of the flavored just seltzers that you find at the gas station and stuff, some of them are just really expensive. I love Liquid Death. That stuff is expensive for just fizzy water or non-fizzy water. So sometimes it's hard to justify that over something else. Marco says, I didn't know that they were Dippa hop teas. That is a joke towards Dippa Josh. So that's what I've got for you guys this week. We've got everything from big old giant stouts to hop teas and everything in between. We'll be back. We'll keep doing this. We'll be back next week, and we'll keep talking about whatever is exciting. Which there's always something exciting going on in Cincinnati's drinking world. And you know what? We've talked a lot about beer. Maybe we need to talk about some spirits or something. We're getting close to that season where I start really diving into my bottle of peppermint schnapps. I did maybe drink some this weekend since we were at the holiday parade thing. I felt like it was appropriate. I'm not ready to start Christmas celebrating yet, but it felt right with Santa and peppermint schnapps. Marco says Kolsch night tomorrow. That is a great reminder for everybody. I will definitely be down at Kolsch night, and we'll drink a bunch of Kolsch. Drinking with the Gnome is coming back at some point. Yep. I actually, if I get a chance this week, I'm hoping to have. I have one episode that is terrible quality that I feel almost guilty trying to put out, but I might. And then I have another. I have a video that I actually haven't been working on it. I have a video that I recorded that I might use as an episode of Drinking with the Gnome, so we might get audio of it and a video. I don't know yet. I've also been thinking about wrapping some of the Drinking with the Gnome videos into the regular Gnarly Gnome YouTube channel. I don't know. Elijah says, I'm waiting for Drinking Malort with the Gnome. That is on the list. I just got to figure out who it's with and where it's at, because that has to be done perfect. And I think I've got it figured out. I need to get a couple things to fall into place first, because the place I want to do it at still doesn't fully. I like drinking there, and they don't know about all of this stuff. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to ruin that relationship, that I'm ready to do that. That I've used up all of my anonymous drinking there. Elijah says, Dan Eben is your Malort man. Absolutely. I've talked to him briefly about that, so we just need to make sure we're all lined up for it. And we'll sit somewhere and drink some Malort. I don't want to spoil anything. I have thoughts about Malort, and they're very conflicted. So we'll stay tuned. Coming maybe this winter. Maybe we'll get it done this winter. I don't know. Thank you guys for hanging out. For anybody who is not aware, I do a lot of different things. I do a lot of podcasts and video stuff and social media stuff and a blog, and there's lots of things that make the Gnarly Gnome work. If you like those things and you want to help kind of keep it all going and help it keep growing and help it keep happening, go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, and you can help that way. I also do want to mention that coming into your email inbox, as long as you've subscribed to the newsletter on the website, coming into your email inbox soon is a survey about a lot of different things. I'm going to pack a whole bunch into this one survey so that you don't get 10 different surveys from me over the next year. Part of next year's kind of focus is improving a couple things, and I want to know opinions on the website and how you use it and why you use it, what you love, what you hate. Podcasts, what you love, what you hate. Beer, Booze, and Bonks, the beer festival that I throw every fall, or help throw every fall. I have to be very clear about that. I do not throw the beer festival. I help throw the beer festival. Want some opinions and some thoughts about that. We have some plans for next year that we want to make sure we do right. Stuff like that. So stay tuned. Kind of keep your eyes on your email inbox. If you're not already subscribed to the newsletter, just go to the website, and I think down at the bottom probably there's a sign-up form where you can sign up to the newsletter. So stay tuned for that, and I really appreciate if you fill it out because it helps me kind of get a better idea of people's thoughts and opinions. It'll be anonymous, so you can say whatever you want, and I will not come and punch you in the stomach for being a jerk. You can be as jerky as you want. Which is should be the point of every thing where you ask for someone's opinion. All right. Elijah says always keeps them on hand. That is one of the few things that I do not have on my bar that I probably should is some Malort. I feel like we would go through it fast just messing with people, though. That's half of the purpose of Malort, is just to mess with people. We'll see you guys next week, or we'll see you tomorrow at Kolsch night if you want to drink some Kolsch and hang out, which you probably should. Everybody should come to Kolsch night. We'll see you guys. Thank you very much. Dippa Josh brings his own hops to over-hop his Kolsch to make it a Dippa. I've heard that. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's true.